Bit of a hollow there. Do you suffer from a bumpy, lumpy lawn? In today's video, I'm going to go through step by step everything I do to top dress my lawn from start to finish. Let's go. What about you? Today, I'm going to show you some beginner tips to help you fix any bumpy lawn. Whether you're a DIY wizard or a seasoned pro, I've got you covered with a range of tools and techniques. We will be putting the DIY drag mat up against the pro mat to see which one works best. The first job before doing anything is to get the grass cut. You want to cut your grass down to its normal height or a bit below, depending on how long your grass is, so as you can see the humps and hollows, and it's also easier to work the material into the lawn. Today I'm using the battery powered lawnmower. I usually use a reel mower to cut my lawn, however it's an antique reel mower and it's currently not working, so we're just on the battery powered mower. One of the good things about cutting your lawn before you top dress it, not only is it good for finding the levels, it's also good if you have any dew on the lawn, because the drier the lawn is before you start, the easier the top dressing is going to be. If you're wondering why you have humps and hollows in your lawn, most of the time it's from just the earth naturally moving. If you think of the earth as always spinning round and round, poor drainage can lead to it. Also, if you live in a new build or you've recently put in your lawn and you haven't compacted it down properly, that's whenever you're going to get a lot of more humps and hollows. My lawn's not too bad for humps and hollows, but today we're just going to put on a real light dressing of sand. Now, if you want to know why I use sand and not soil, I'm going to explain that further on in the video. The area around this tree, as we always bring the lawnmower around it, it causes a lot of compaction here and it always falls away into the tree. So this is one of my problem areas in the lawn that I get a lot of hollows on. As you can see, you can use a level. I appreciate that not everyone's going to have such a large level, I guess. So you could use boards. The one thing I'm going to say about using boards is, this board here is pretty straight. Unfortunately, this big long board, which would be ideal, isn't straight at all and it's very bowed. Another simple, cheap, effective way to look for levels is to use a bit of string. Very, very low cost, but we're not using this today. One of the easiest tips I can give you if you're going to be top dressing your lawn is to use a square shovel. I prefer these plastic shovels as they're nice and light. And the trick is not to put too much on your shovel, just to throw it in, give it a bit of a shake, and that levels the sand off. You don't want a big pile of sand there because it will not come off the shovel in a nice fashion. And then just throw it on and give it a wee twist. Apparently, it's all in the wrist. Something that's key for top dressing your lawn, if you can top dress your lawn with dry material, whether it be sand, soil, compost or whatever. I'm very fortunate that in the shed here we keep all the sand here. So let's go in and we'll have a chat about it. This is the sand that I use to top dress the lawn. This is a sports sand. The difference between a sports sand and a sharp sand. A sharp sand is actually angular in nature. They use it to make clay bricks as it binds together. We don't want to use sharp sand on our lawn, because for the same reason that it's going to bind together. So this sand, what they do with this sand is they take 3 or 4 different sands and they put them together and they wash them, and it washes out all the inconsistencies. So this sand is this particle size is all the same and it's free draining. Now I'm going to show you a little trick. So if you take a handful of the sand, so you can see it here, whenever you rub it together and then your hands actually clean afterwards. If you take a builder's sand or a plastering sand and if you do the same thing, your hands are going to be dirty, and that is due to the clay content. So it's an easy way to test how much sand or how much clay is in the sand that you're using. Now, a lot of people in Northern Ireland are always asking me where they can get sports sand from. So I'm going to leave a link down in the video description and you can follow that and talk to them about getting sand. Now let's get on and get the lawn top dressed. For our American and Australian viewers, I know a lot of you guys will be putting this on really heavy. Here in the UK, we don't tend to put on the top dressing so heavy as we cut our grass a bit shorter. And if we put on a really heavy dose the way you guys put yours on, well then we'd end up smothering the lawn. Just coming to the end of getting this on, one of the most important things and very underrated is if you're top dressing your lawn, you always want to let it dry. So after we get this on, we're going to go and have a cup of tea. The main reason that you want to have a cup of tea whenever you're top dressing your lawn is you want all that sand and material to dry. It makes it a lot easier to get the work into the lawn. I said at the start of the video about how to find humps and hollows in your lawn with the likes of this here or using a bit of wood. I don't have that many humps and hollows in my lawn, so the tool I'm going to use is that drag mat. Now we'll have a professional one here, but I also made a DIY one a number of years ago that works really well, so we're going to show you them both. But before I get into that, I'm going to show you some other tools that you can use to work the soil into your lawn. The first two tools that I'm going to show you on how to work material into your lawn is a rake and a simple soft brush. Everyone will have at least one of these. You can see this works the material into the lawn, but it doesn't do any leveling. As you can see, the brush does a reasonably good job, but it doesn't level. Next up, we're going to try the rake that has the straight edge along it. Our next tool is the lawnlet. These are really good at leveling a lawn, especially if you have a lot of material. I'm going to have a go with this and then we'll get the drag mat out. As you can see, the tool does a really good job at pulling the sand in and help leveling the lawn. However, using a lawnlet or a lawn leveler, it's really hard work. If you're using or buying lawn leveler, you want a heavy one. A light ones just won't do the same job. Now we're going to try the two drag mats. With a DIY one and with a professional one. We're going to put them side by side and see how it works. Now the DIY one was made for less than £40. I'll leave the links, the affiliate links down in the video description. So all you need is the mat, a bit of broom and some cable ties and a bit of rope. As you can see, the DIY drag mat is every bit as good as the metal one. It just takes a bit longer to turn. If you want to learn why I use sand and not soil and why I don't think you should do that, watch this video next.